Welcome to another sick podcast, Anvil Show. Yes, I'm rocking shades. Yes, I'm inside. But tonight is Rivals Night. So I think I need to block all of the hate that's going to come our way. We have a guy from the Jags. We have a guy from the Texans. And hell, we might even have a guy or two from the Titans. We'll see. But before we get into all that, Sammy, go ahead and bang that, please.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Anvil Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
Yes, sir. It's going to be sick. Let's bring the boys in. Pat Acosta, where you at? Yes, sir. I got my glasses on, man, because I feel like this is going to be like the episode of the Chappelle Show. Hate.
I just thought it was because you were stoned. There it is. I beat you to it tonight, Pat.
I'm rocking the shades because this is going to be a fun one, man. This one's just entitled Rivals. Sammy, go ahead and bring on the rivals. Bring them in. Yes, these sir. Guys. We have Tyler down on the left. He is Jags fan of the year from last year. And of course, we have our guy Matt from many Anvil shows past. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. I completely plan to turn this into, like I said, one of my favorite Chappelle episodes, the Haters Ball, where we just talk crap about each other's teams in the most respectful manner. That is, right?
Fair enough.
Absolutely. Yeah, we should have some fun tonight, man. So, I don't know. Pat, are you hiding? Are you crying?
That's actually the best picture of Pat I've seen in forever. So
let the hate begin. Even when it's amongst ourselves, we will definitely bring the hate. All right.
Oh, damn, he's back.
And I could hear every word.
Good deal. I didn't say you couldn't hear.
And now I've got a special guest that I can't just throw out.
Oh. Uh-oh.
Miss Moonpie.
All right, everybody be on their best behavior. She didn't get the memo. It's boys' time.
She didn't get the memo.
You get to Omaha. Everybody gets one.
That's the next Colts cheerleader of the year right there, buddy.
Oh, Omaha is not limited to age. Anybody?
What'd she get in Omaha for?
Because she knows it's boys' time.
Being cute and adorable.
All right, anyway. Did you go see Barbie? Yes,
No.
You did. Anyway, moving on. All right, here we go, man. We're going to go ahead and get into the show. I got to start with our trademark, so here we go. I think we're going to start with the division champ down at the bottom. I mean, they never get a chance to be on top, so let's let them talk first. 9-8 has never felt so great. Tell us about it, Tyler.
Not bad. All right, fair enough. Well, again, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's an exciting time to be a Jags fan. The way we finished the year last year, win the division, that wild card game against the Chargers, which that took some years off my life. Watching that, a 27-point comeback, and then we battled the Chiefs close in their house. So, everything on paper, I'm thinking we're repeating as division champs. And hot take, I don't think it'll be close. Hot take, I got your hot take. I don't think it'll be close.
Man, that's tough. So if it's not close, then give me the record projection.
Sure.
What are you feeling?
I think, like I said, again, barring injuries, and that goes for any team, obviously, but barring injuries on paper, what we've added, another year under Doug Peterson, which I think, obviously, the difference between him and Urban couldn't have been more night and day. I say we get anywhere between. I'm confident between 11 and 12 wins. I'll go 11 and 6. I'll just say 11 and 6. I hate to say it, I don't know who else in the division. The Titans, I don't know what they're doing. They're not rebuilding, but they have Tannehill at quarterback. They have Levis, that kid from last year they have. So they have like 3 quarterbacks. I don't know what's going on there. Henry is obviously a beast when healthy, but again, his age is starting to tick up there a little bit. The wear and tear on him has been outrageous. Hopkins is kind of is kind of a shell of himself. So I don't know what's going on in Tennessee. But I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. I'd say they probably come in 7 to 8 wins. You guys probably, I'm going to give 6 wins. And Houston, I'll say 4 to 5.
Hold on, Matt. Hold on, real quick.
What? A bullshit?
Oh, okay. Okay. No. Honestly, I had you guys like no kidding winning division. I said it last week, and I was cringing saying it. But I think this year, yes, you guys are the most complete squad based off of what happened last year. I think you guys definitely came out of the blue because you started off kind of a slow season. And
it was a slow start.
Yeah,
for sure.
No hate, bro. A lot of things, just fooled it the way they did. But hey, you cannot change what happened in the playoffs. You're down that big at home and come back and beat the Chargers. I mean, look, people talked about injuries here and there. I don't care. You play with who's on the field. So I commend you. But it just shows how wild our division is because years ago we went 9-8 and got laughed at.
Absolutely. It's I do think the AFC South has the potential to be the most entertaining division because there is a lot of question marks. Like, again, with the Colts, for example, and the whole Anthony Richardson, you know what I mean? Is he going to start? Is he not going to start right away? His potential, how does he do? You guys have a new head coach. Obviously, with Houston, you guys have new head coach, new quarterback, Will Anderson. I mean, a lot of changes throughout the division, which makes it enticing, which I think is good. It's good for football. Like, obviously, I'm a Jags fan, but at the end of the day, I want to see our division do well. So, like, in years past, if the Jags did make the playoffs, I'm rooting for my AFC South teams in the playoffs and stuff. Like, I want to see our division do well because I think our division is very disrespected as a whole across the league. Like, when people talk about divisions, I feel like for the most part, they laugh at the AFC South. Like, the AFC South's a laughing stock. So I want our division to have that legitimacy and see teams do well, just not against us. But as a whole, like I said, I don't really hate any of the teams in my division. I think part of it is because our division hasn't been around a super long time. Our team has not particularly been very competitive, so we have not had any really great rivals. But like I said, I actually don't mind the other 3 teams in the division, and I think the future is bright for Tennessee. I don't know what they're doing, but you guys, Houston, with your guys' quarterbacks, I think those 2 could be franchise quarterbacks for you guys. So really excited for the season.
All right. Well, I'm an onside kick it over to Hey.
First of all, I'm very sorry for being late. I got the times wrong. That's my fault. I will not allow that to happen again. I appreciate for having me on, guys.
No worries. Now we got to get your name. I'm sorry. We didn't know which one we were going to get.
Yeah. So my name's Sal Manfredi. My Twitter handle is Sal from Jersey. I'm with the Sick Podcast Talking Titans. Just to kind of piggyback off of what was already said, listen, I'm one of the more realistic fans in this fan base. Sometimes I'm a little too pessimistic for the rest of the fan base's liking, but the bottom line is this. Teams that I actually legitimately fear in the division, with no disrespect to Houston, I think they're right there. It's just so early. But I think the Colts are going to be a lot better than a lot of people think. I think Anthony Richardson, just on sheer athleticism alone, is going to win you guys like 3 or 4 games that probably wouldn't have won without him. And the Jags, listen, the Jags are an excellent football team. They're on the rise. I just think their fan base puts a little bit too much stock into the fact that the Titans lost 7 games in a row last year.
About that.
Had about a 95% chance to win the division after week 8. And we had one of the more colossal collapses in NFL history. So I give Jacksonville all the credit in the world for doing the opposite of what we did in the second half of the season by winning all their games as we lost all of ours. But the bottom line is this: the Titans, with a good offensive line, which is obviously a big question mark because we lost a lot of pieces, brought a lot of new faces in with not a whole lot of experience. But if our offensive line is even below average, because last year they were historically bad, if they're even below average, this team really has the potential to be a juggernaut. Nobody realizes how good our defense is. It gets slept on a little bit. We get thrown on all the time last year, but mostly due to injury. We brought in guys like Arden Key. I know you're familiar with him.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm really excited. And DeAndre Hopkins, obviously, if you're not from Nashville, Tennessee, or a big fan of the team, you're thinking to yourself, all right, here we go again. All right, Julio Jones, part 2. Randy Moss, part 2.
Moss.
All right, Andre
Moss,
Johnson.
Andre
This is
Johnson.
where elite quarterbacks go to die. But in this situation specifically, I think it's a little bit different. The guy's only 31. We saw what he did last year when he was on the field. He hasn't lost a single step when he can touch turf. And I'm just –
Yeah, I will say this too. Hopkins, I think, in the league right now, I wouldn't take another. I think he has the best hands in the league. I wouldn't take another receiver over him based on his hands. Like if a ball's in the air, I would trust him probably to come down with the ball more than most. To be completely honest.
Yeah, I mean,
But my question for you is Tannehill going to be enough for Hopkins?
well,
Is that O-line going to be
Or
strong
Levis,
enough?
or is it? I would say the quarterback thing is it. You have Malik Willis, Levis, and Tannehill. What's going on there?
Well, from what I've gathered, it appears Malik Willis is edging Levis a little bit right now in the second slot, surprising most. Yeah, if you're not a big fan of the Titans, you wouldn't know that, but all reports point to Malik Willis taking the next step. And it looks like it's his job to lose as far as the backup role is considered. I love the two of them tremendously. I love Malik Willis. I think he epitomizes what an NFL star should be, the way he carries himself on and off the field. Obviously, we saw he couldn't put it together last year, but the bottom line is this. If you've watched our show, Sick Podcast Talking Titans, I've been very, very down on Ryan Tannehill as of the past year or two because he hasn't been able to perform in the biggest moments. Nobody wants to realize that Derrick Henry took us to the AFC Championship game 4 years ago. Ryan Tannehill didn't throw over 100 yards in a single one of those playoff wins. So it's going to come down to if he can right his wrongs. We've talked revenge tour every year, this, that, and the other thing, and it's never come to fruition. So this is his last dance. Put it in basketball perspective. And it's good to know that we have two very hungry rookie or young guys behind him that are fighting for a spot. And I got all the faith in the world that one of the two is going to be the future of our franchise.
And I don't usually defend the Titans, but didn't you guys have the most guys on IR last year, like the most injuries as well in the year? Like, so I do remember the time we played you in week 17 or week 18, you guys were so banged up, you didn't recognize half the team on the field. Heck, Josh Dobbs was in there.
Joshua Dobbs,
was in there.
Over the past 5 years, you could argue the Titans are the most injured franchise in professional sports. I mean, you name it. We've had stints. Derrick Henry's on the IR. Ryan Tannehill. When we had A.J. Brown, he was always on and off the report. Jeffrey Simmons had a little bit of an issue last year too. I mean, we've had very big issues with strength and conditioning, and they haven't been able to figure out a guy who's able to keep these guys in the field because everyone knows when this team's fully healthy what they're capable of. Like, we've beaten the Buffalo Bills. We've beaten the Kansas City Chiefs multiple times in their building and in ours. We can compete with the big dogs. It's just a matter of staying healthy. And you could say that for every team, obviously, but we got a lot of cornerstone pieces on both sides of the football that are ready to take the next step. We just need all the stars to align. So
and Vrabel's a good coach on top of it as well.
He absolutely is. Absolutely is.
I tell you what, though, man, Adam Rank freaking destroyed y'all today.
He did.
I couldn't believe that.
He did the same thing to us a couple weeks ago.
He's not a big fan of AFC South.
He had us like 3-14 or something.
Yeah,
crazy shit.
I don't know who his dealer is, but I'd really love to get a hold of him.
No shit,
because he's got some really excellent strands of marijuana in his.
Hey, Sammy, we got to get Adam on the show, man. What the?
Yeah,
like we got a bone to pick with Adam.
We got to get him on here, bro.
I want to know what leaf he's smoking on, because if this team only wins 3 or 4 games, then Broadway is going to be on fire. I'll put it that way.
All right, so let's onside kick it over here to Matt. Matt, you tell us about the up and coming Texans and all the greatness that are y'all.
For sure. I think a lot of people have already talked about it. New head coach. I mean, for that matter, basically a whole new coaching staff. A lot of new faces, man. And a lot of new positions. I've got a floor at 4-13 and a ceiling at 10-7. I think this is a team that, provided the coaching goes well, and we have guys, I think key people you're gonna see as far as their rise and fall will be the Texans' rise and fall. Kenyon Green, last year a first round pick. I think as he rises and falls, I think again this team is going to. Nico Collins is looking to be our number one wide receiver after having played a couple years in a second role. That's going to be kind of a bigger leap for him to come in. And then we got guys like Sheldon Rankinson, coming in from two different franchises, looking to again kind of, anchor another, weaker front and bring that up, man. And I just, I see a lot of potential here. I'm looking forward to next year talking to y'all at this time. That's what I'm ready for. I can't wait to be in a year from now and go, these are our new pickups, these are our new draft picks, and I think that we're a team that's really hungry now. That's to put it as frank as I can. I think again, things go right, we might inch in the playoffs, but I think it's definitely a rebuilding year for us. This is a time to strip away the old guard and to get something new. We've had a lot of the same regime. Even going beyond Bill O'Brien, Tim Kelly was still there. A lot of those Patriots leftovers were still hanging around, man. I think there are even some more personnel changes that maybe need to happen in regards to our front office, that maybe, to finish that rebuild. I just, as hopeful as I've been as a Texans fan in the past 3 years, just really looking forward to the future. I love D'Amico. I love his story. I love, he felt like the heart candidate to me. There were a lot of guys, it's money, it's, hey, I want to move up in position, but he picked us. Denver called him at the last minute. That was a report that came out that said, hey, we'll pay you more. We want you to come in. And he declined to go away from a bigger market to go, no, I want to come back home to the city that drafted me and go, and I know that I can make a difference here. And just his character, his leadership, man. Whether we win a game in 2023, I'm proud to have D'Amico Ryans as my head coach.
All right, that's dope, man.
Nice. Cool.
Well, let me ask you a question, Matthew. You said there's some other front office people that you think needs to get gone. Who?
Well, there.
Pat, why does that matter? What the fuck? Who cares?
I just want to know. I want to know who he's talking about.
Nobody gives a shit, man.
Somebody gives a shit because I asked a question.
We don't know the people in our front office like
Mr.
that. Like
Cool Mo D.
This fucking guy.
There were some early reports that Nick Caserio would be out as our GM. As of right now, he is still acting general manager. And he would be one of the last guys that is a holdoup
from the Patriots.
From that same kind of, even when Bill was here, we wanted him. It ended up not working out, at least during Bill's time. But
what chin?
Bill O'Brien.
He was awesome.
Last playoff appearance was with good old Bill.
Yeah, he won a lot of games for you guys. He did. Yeah. He won a lot of games for you guys.
2018. Yeah. All right, man. Let's have some fun here. Let's go. Like, I'm the king of like most random questions. Who is the best player in the entire division? Let's start. Let's go around the horn. We start.
Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor. Okay.
Lawrence. Lawrence. You heard it here first. Within 2 years, 2 to 3 years, he will win a league MVP. Guarantee it.
All right.
Guarantee it.
Bruh.
This is his division for the next decade. It's Lawrence's division.
I'm going to repeat what I said when I came on. There are a lot of Jaguar fans that are putting just a little bit too much stock into the fact that we dropped 7 games in a row in a season where we were up 4 games in the division before Halloween.
Epic.
I'm saying, our offense, you have Trevor Lawrence, Christian Kirk. We get Calvin Ridley, fresh legs off that suspension. Travis Etienne, Evan Ingram. Scary hours.
Like I
Scary.
said before, Sal,
Scary.
like, you missed this, but 9-8 has never been so strong, bro. But
Hey,
okay.
like I said, I was telling them, I think you missed it. We've had a lot of bad years, so I'm a little probably more optimistic than most Jags fans, but we're usually the punching bag, so I'm thinking positive. Thinking positive.
All right, Sal, who you got? Best in the league or best in our division?
I don't want to be biased. Like I don't want to be, or I should. Yeah, I mean, bro. I'm gonna go with DeAndre. DeAndre, listen, I was telling everyone, I was telling everyone and their mother that Calvin Ridley was the best receiver in the AFC South this year up until about a week ago. So, at their best, there's nobody better at their position in the AFC South than DeAndre Hopkins, in my opinion. Now, there's some guys in there that we don't know yet. I mean, Anthony Richardson could be an absolute superstar from day one, and that could be it. We could find out that he is the new Patrick Mahomes, even better because he's even more athletic. But that remains to be seen. I'm talking about what we know already. DeAndre Hopkins, 100%. There's nobody better at their position than him when he is 100% healthy. And I think that's not too crazy of a thing to say.
I can't even argue with that. I can't argue with that. He's when healthy, yeah, he's a top 3 receiver in the league.
All right, Matt, where you at? Best the player in the division.
Well, by that same standard, when healthy, by position, I'm going to say Quentin Nelson from the Colts. Not to kick your ass. Yeah, when healthy. I mean, I don't think that
he's a beast.
He's
a beast.
The top 2 offensive guard in the league, and I think not only that's on tape. That's purely on. You can watch the film on that. I mean, he's a beast, man, and I'm really looking forward to him kind of having a comeback year, and really reinstating his place as the top guard in the NFL. I think a close 2 and 3 though would be Derrick Henry and Laramie Tunsil. Again, if we're talking positionless and we're just saying, hey, top guys at their thing. Again, with all those same standards, Derrick Henry healthy, I think is crazy.
The best running back in the league. I'll say it.
Yeah,
Henry when healthy is the best running back in the league by a mile.
He's the biggest running back, but he ain't the best.
Pat, I will argue with you on this one.
You know who the best is. Come
Derrick
on.
Henry, when healthy, is the best running back in the league, and it's not even close. And that's coming from a Jags fan. I've watched Henry do stuff to our team.
Yeah, your team. You've watched him absolutely throw.
He's just owned us.
We run all over you. He runs all over the Colts too. Where you been?
I respect Henry.
But his epic stuff is Jags games, bro.
It is.
What team put him on the IR last year?
Pat, that's nothing to say. Come on, man.
Oh man, that's a low blow.
That's a
low
blow.
I mean, what team tackled his ankles and tried to take him out of the game? Yeah, you got that right. and I listen. If you guys are going to try to come at us with the Jonathan Taylor is better, then please save that for the open mic. Okay, maybe people at an open mic will enjoy hearing Jonathan Taylor is better than Derrick Henry, but nobody on a serious. And I think Jonathan Taylor is a specimen. He's very good at running and catching, which is very hard to find these days in the NFL. But I mean,
is it based on? He doesn't have enough yet, right? He has the monster season, and then he has a couple solid seasons. Last year, was crap. He had over 1,000 yards total, but I mean, he missed 7 games or some shit like that. Yeah. But we seen what he could do 2 years ago when he absolutely tore the league apart. But
Henry is a specimen. I was on a sideline pass years ago, and I've only been wowed by 2 players. Physically, he was one of them. Standing and watching him up close, he looks like a man among boys.
Yeah. Here's the difference. With Jonathan Taylor, you give him 6 inches, he's going to hit a home run. That's all he needs. He needs 6 inches of space. He's got the speed, acceleration, and the agility to do it. Derrick Henry, you could have all 11 guys locked arms in front of him, and there's still a chance he's going to take you to the house. That's where I think it separates the 2 of them. I have all the respect in the world for Jonathan Taylor. Like I said, I think he's an excellent athlete, and he's a great piece of your puzzle if you're looking to take the next step offensively. But, I mean, it's just it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, I always ragged on T.Y., because he would always take giant dumps on us every year, and I just never want to give him his flowers. But now that he's out of league, I can say, he was an absolute stellar receiver, very underrated receiver in the National Football League. But I'm not. I wouldn't like say that. One of my receivers like at the time. I don't even know. I couldn't even name one of our top receivers like 10 years ago. Kenny Britt. I wouldn't say Kenny Britt. Kenny Britt is under. Kenny Britt's better than T.Y. Hilton any day of the week. He's bigger, stronger.
Oh God, Kenny Britt from Rutgers. No, I'm gonna jump before I get the boys up top. Go. I think like healthy and completely just he's open and ready to play. Like I don't think there's a better player in the whole division than I'm gonna call him his old name, Darius Leonard. Like what he does on the field, like he's a turnover machine. And to have a guy that like constantly, it's one thing to make tackles. We know he leads the league or he's always in the top 10 or whatever when he's healthy tackling. But just to change the game on one single play, like you never know when that's going to happen, whether it's an interception, strip fumble, or just a punch out fumble. And like what he was doing for the last 2 years leading up into last year with the injury was like insane. Like I almost felt like every time like we can get a turnover on defense, and that's an amazing feeling to have. So to me, I think he's the best player for what he can do when he's completely healthy. That's just my thoughts. But I'll kick it to you, Pat. Who's the best player in the division?
Leonard is one hell of a spot to take. And I'm not going to take nothing away from Henry because the guy is a beast. He's absolutely a tank. But he's stoppable. And you talked about locking 11 arms, and man, I just don't see it.
Sammy, make sure you clip that, please. Please clip that.
Pat, I usually agree with you, but not on this one, buddy. Not on this one.
I will get that. I will get that viral in 5 minutes. I will get that viral.
That's fine. Bring it viral because
that's great.
When we got our smallest guy on defense that can stop Henry and Kenny Moore, and now you're telling me 11 guys locking arms can't stop that guy? I'm not believing it. I'm sorry.
I watch Henry do
I'm not taking nothing from him.
Not saying every time.
Because he is an absolute stud. No question about it. But I don't think he's the best anymore.
I have seen Henry do unspeakable things to our defense. I watched him. This was 2019 in Nashville on a Thursday night game.
Talking about your defense, not mine.
99 yards. He drug our entire defense down in the end zone at that game. He scored 4 touchdowns, 300 some yards. I have never seen a performance like that at an NFL game in my life.
No, that was an insane game. And like to me, there's only been and this doesn't not disclude, but this does not include Earl Campbell because I didn't get to see him play. But the only other guy that I can remember running like him was Christian Okoye, because Christian Okoye was just a big, strong dude, and he just ran in straight lines. Like Derrick Henry's not trying to juke you; he's going to like run over you, and then if he gets the separation, he's gonna run away from you. And he's gonna stiff arm you, right? Like so, there's not a whole bunch of like agility stuff you're going to see, and that's what makes him different to me. You know what I mean? Like we remember the run that was Jonathan Taylor. He said 6 inches against the New England Patriots, takes it to the house. Derrick Henry head on, freaking collision, take it to the house type difference. So you're right on that. I mean, there's nothing you can do about a 260-pound 6'4" guy that runs.
I will say he's got the best stiff arm I've ever seen from anybody.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's in like the 95th percentile in arm length for every running back drafted since the 2000s. Are you kidding me? Yeah.
Derrick Henry averages 92 yards a game against the Indianapolis Colts. Just for sake of discussion, I would say that's pretty damn good. In 14 games. In 14 games, he's got 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns. I would take that as an NFL GM if they say sign the dotted line, you're gonna have 90 yards a game against your division rival. I take it, but again,
I will go the other way. I will go the other way with that and say I'll take our defense, keeping what you call the best running back ever under 100 yards.
No, not ever. I don't think he said ever.
In the NFL, yes.
Okay, but locking 11 guys' arms together and he can drag them to the end zone. I'll take under 100 yards every game. Every game, I will take that.
Clip that.
I don't know, man.
Clip it.
I don't know.
Clip it.
I watched it happen, man. I watched him drag our whole defense for like 320 yards on national TV.
Tyler, you keep making me say this. This is your defense, though.
I understand. But
I mean,
again,
Jonathan Taylor
I
dragged
feel
out
kind of sick
7 too,
standing
so.
up for a Titans player, but the blasphemy, Pat, the blasphemy that you're speaking right now against Derrick Henry, respect the man.
No, I
Respect the
told you,
man.
he's got the greatest stiff arm ever. He's an absolute tank. Would I ever have him on my team? Absolutely. The guy's an absolute beast. But to put him as the best player in the AFC South, I can't do it anymore.
Okay, one last thing, guys. I just want to say one thing.
Years ago, yeah.
Okay, so one last thing. I'm gonna rattle off the yardages on the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games against the Indianapolis Colts.
Not gonna be
the
good.
last one, 128 yards. After that, 114. Then when he got hurt in, which was he had almost 70 that game, 113, 178, 103, 149. I'd like to think he's doing all right against the Indianapolis Colts in the last couple of years. So
I mean, he's doing all right.
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. He's averaging over 100 yards a game against the Colts. He's got a couple $150 games. I'd love to see Jonathan Taylor's stats against the Titans over the last 2 years, but I won't go that route because unfortunately, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's not good. I'll do it. I'll do it.
Fine.
I'm kind of afraid to ask what Henry's done against the Jags.
Because I'm going to be talking to him tomorrow, and I'm going to show him this clip. Sammy, clip this. By God, absolutely clip this so I can give it to Jonathan so I can fuel the fire that man has.
That's awesome.
Okay.
All right, Pat. You had a long nap here. Okay. Acosta, your turn. Who's the best player in the division? Jesus Christ.
I got to give my big boys up front some love, man. I got to go with DeForest Buckner. He's going on year 8. He's looking for a dominant performance. He lacked last year in a lot of things, but, between him and Big Grove, man, that's a tandem team on that front, on that defensive front that cannot be ignored by any team in the league. I mean, them two together, just phenomenal team, phenomenal defensive line work. But DeForest, he's going on year 8. I think he's going to come in, dominate not only our division on the defensive line of things, but he's also going to, show us what we traded for him for and his dominant performance. For sure.
So here's the thing. This is a point of contention because this goes back and forth. So Big Jeff or DeForest Buckner, right? This is the conversation when it becomes between the division and shit. Sometimes the NFL. So I'll go back down to Sal. Sal, what do you think?
Well,
Big Jeff,
I will answer that question, and I'm going to be very biased, but I had to close this argument with one final piece of information. Jonathan Taylor has played 5 games against the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to rattle off his yards. No, last game he had 12 yards. The game before that he had 64 yards. The game before that he had 70, 42, and 58. He's never broken 100 yards against the Titans. He's got 1 touchdown in 2.5 years against the Titans. He's averaging 3.9 yards a carry against the Tennessee Titans. So realistically speaking, I understand, and I'll say it a million other times, I think Jonathan Taylor is a specimen. I think if he's used properly, he can be excellent addition to an offense. But any day and twice on Sundays, I'm taking Derrick Henry against any squad of men. And I have statistics to back it up. Big Jeff is my pick, always and forever. He's the best defensive tackle behind Aaron Donald. The defense rests.
The defense rests. Look at that. I like that. Pat, look, next time we got to be prepared, bro. Like, we're spitting from emotions here.
It's fine.
We ran down the stat.
Like I said,
we look
just
psycho.
fuel for the fire. That's it.
We look fucking nuts.
Because we're gonna come back after we play you twice this year, and you're gonna see the dominance because you've pissed him off.
Okay.
Fine.
All right. I mean, I don't need to piss Derrick Henry off. He has over 100 yards every week anyway, so I'll take those odds any day. But if that's what Jonathan Taylor needs to get over 100, then piss him off. Piss him off all you want.
I love this. Pat, thanks for inviting me on. This is great.
I fucking love this.
I like that.
And the only reason Henry has got 80 billion freaking yards is because that's the only weapon you have.
No longer. That's the argument that anybody would have with any great player. I mean, shit, look at Ricky Williams. Like, I think the Dolphins literally ran his legs off of his body, but he was a dog when he was doing it, right? I mean, I have made that argument until you can't make that argument because ultimately nobody thinks that running backs are worthy right now, right? We hearing what's going on in the NFL. But shit, you take Derrick Henry off this team or Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley, I don't give a shit how good these offenses are. The first thing they'll say is, we can't run the ball. Like, damn. So you kind of balance that out. You know what I'm saying? And I think that maybe they can. I mean, what does Derrick Henry average? How many carries does he average a game? Do you know that off the top, Sal? He gets a lot.
Very near 30.
He gets a lot. Right? So wear and tear on a man's body, I understand that. But shit, if the dude is conditioned to do it, then shit, let him do it till he can't. That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
So
he lives in the gym. So
Super Bowl, fucking
I've seen a few of those gym videos of his, and it's freaking impressive.
Doing all kinds
His muscles have muscles.
Fucking fighting chains and shit. Like, I don't know. He's fucking crazy. But all right, let's kick it down to Matt. Let's change the topic. Let's go biggest surprise in this total division this year. Like, what do you think is going to be like a shocker? You could pick team, you could pick amounts of wins, you could pick a player. I don't give a shit. What's the shocker this year in the AFC South?
Ooh.
Oh, I'm going?
Yeah, Matt, you up, buddy? I hear you tapping on the keys.
Sure.
You up, dog? You gotta think about it.
Yeah. You were saying biggest shocker in
Oh, I think I know this. I'm gonna be biased, so whatever.
Well, I
can come back to you, Matt.
I'm gonna have to give it to the Titans record, man. I think Mike Vrabel is the best coach in the AFC South.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, I think people are really underrating, their whole performance. If I had to go a player, I would say Jonathan Taylor's probably going to come back with a vengeance, to be honest with you. Saying he had a down year last year, I think he's going to be a right up there again, top 5 running back. That's my pick.
All right, Tyler, what you got, buddy?
Again, not trying to be biased. But so I kind of have two. So the two that stand out to me, one is Calvin Ridley. He, after that suspension, he's got a lot to prove. He was suspended for a whole year, but people forget he was an all-pro when he got suspended. So it's not like he was bad when he got suspended. He was a top, 10 receiver in the league. So he had a year off, coming back with a vengeance. His offseason, his OTA, his workouts, everyone said he's unguardable so far. I think he's going to come back out and just shock the league. But then at the same time, I also put Hopkins in the mix. I think Hopkins I guess it's not so much a shocker, but I think Hopkins will reestablish himself as, the top 3 receiver in the league. So I'm going to go with Ridley and Hopkins establishing themselves as top tier receivers in the whole league.
We're still here. All right. Sal, what you got, boss?
I'm going to say 2 things that should make 2 groups of people fairly happy. I think AR-15 and Stroud are going to be, or at least have better rookie seasons than Bryce Young. That's probably my bold prediction of.
I agree.
I really do.
Absolutely.
I think Bryce Young he's just got too many things going for him. Everyone says he's just flawless in practice, and I know that doesn't always translate, but more times than not it does. And again, I can't state this enough. I think Richardson is really, to say a specimen would be doing him a disservice. I mean, he just has every tool imaginable that you would want in a quarterback, and he's just so raw. Like, we don't even know if he's even come close to his potential. He's been at Florida for a cup of coffee, and now he's going to be an NFL starter, rightfully so. But he could be better than Mahomes, honestly, if he can put it all together, because he just has so much more strength and athleticism, in my opinion. But a name I want everyone to remember, and this is very important, especially inside the AFC South, Treylon Burks. That's a name I want all 5 of you to remember. Nobody talks about him in the league. Nobody talks about him within our fan base as far as the division's concerned. He is a star in the making. He is a guy that, when healthy, and he had some injury concerns his rookie year, but when healthy, he is a Jamar Chase type guy as far as what he can do. His ball grabbing ability is insane. Big guy, crisp route runner, and I think with DeAndre, that's going to free him up. He's going to see so many one-on-ones. He's not going to know what to do with them all, and he's going to be a name a lot of these fan bases in our division are going to know about very soon.
And not to hammer the point about Bryce Young, I was actually at the NFL draft this past spring, so I was up close by the stage. Richardson literally looked like a defensive lineman. He was bigger than some of the defensive linemen on stage. Bryce Young walked out right after him, not to be offensive, he looked like a midget. I don't know how else. I mean, he looked so tiny, and I'm like, I understand sizes and everything, but I'm like,
Say that again. No, I'm just kidding.
He
right after ball grabbing. I love it.
If they say Bryce Young's 5'10" or 5'9", they're lying. He's like 5'8". I mean, that guy is short. And Richardson, like you said, his physical specimen, he was bigger than half the linemen up there. It was insane to watch up close. Like scary, like you said, scary. What he could be. The potential is sky high.
We like that. All right, Pat, where you at, boss? You had all this time to think about this.
Actually, I'm trying to remember the question. Repeat the question.
Biggest surprise in the AFC South. That's it.
Oh,
you're not even prepared.
Okay, I will definitely go with Richardson being a surprise. I really think he's going to shock a lot of people. You know, a lot of reports saying that he and Minshew are going to split time with first team reps and this and that. I just don't see it. I don't see him paying $50-something million to this young rookie and not getting every penny out of him. The second surprise is Matthew. What was your third pick? That defensive guy,
Will Anderson.
Will Anderson.
Yeah, I think he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, Acosta. You said you got a roll here in a second, so you up, boss. What's your surprise?
Yeah, just first and foremost, guys, I apologize. I'm at the dip after I answer this question. I got to get up at 3:00 in the morning, and I still got to finish dinner. So, I think the biggest surprise, again, I'm going to be biased. I think honestly, the biggest surprise is probably going to be Alec Pierce, our wide receiver. He's showing so much potential, and all he needs is a deep ball threat, which he's got in AR-15. So I think he's really just going to surprise us this year. He's going to have a breakout year. He's got great route running ability. He's got the quickest hands. Me and Pat seen this at training camp last year. He's got the quickest hands out of any receiver I've ever seen in my life. And I think over time it's only going to get better. His footwork's going to get better. So I think he's really going to shock not only the AFC South, but the league this year. I mean, if you looking at fantasy receivers, I'd definitely draft him first.
And I'll tell you one thing that really stuck out for me, to piggyback on you, Acosta, is a lot of receivers, when they see the ball coming, they're already out, stretched out for it. He waits until the last minute, and it's absolutely beautiful.
It was when we seen him inside that first training camp practice that we went to, when it's just like his hands just come out of nowhere. It's just like they're there, he's running, and then bam. It's crazy. I mean, you have to see it in person. It's absolutely insane.
So I'm gonna go. I'm sorry, I was trying to mess with the sound. All right, you out of here?
Yeah, just real quick. Just y'all keep having fun. Sorry, I got to dip again, guys. But 3:00 comes early, so y'all keep having fun. This has been great. So y'all have a blast. Hopefully, we'll do this again soon. Okay.
All right,
brother.
Yeah, same man.
So I'm gonna go. My biggest surprise will be I'm gonna go a position group. I'm gonna go Indy's wide receiving core. Right now, they're just who are they, right? But I think like the addition of people like Josh Downs that can create space and then give Michael Pittman room to work as well along with our big tight ends. I'm gonna just throw them into there as well. And then Alec Pierce, like we just talked about. I just think our group will be better. I don't know. I'm not picking like top 5, top 6, nothing like that. But what I'm saying is going forward, it might not just be a talk that, hey, the Colts don't have receivers. I think that you'll see something out of our receiving core this year. And then the other group that I'll say, honestly, and even though I already picked them to win the division, that it could be that the complete opposite happens to the Jags. And this is what I mean. Not in a negative fashion, like, oh, my God, they go back to being 3-14. But I just think that a lot of things went right last year. And we talked about this before Sal joined. A lot of things went right and a lot of things went wrong for other programs. In the Jags, 9-8, right? 9-8 that's what we had 2 years ago, and it didn't get us to the playoffs. So what it says to me is that this division is still like up for the taking, in all honesty. So, I mean, you have them at 11-6, maybe. You said maybe 12 games, maybe. But I just don't think that – I feel like the Jazz could very much be humbled and fall back to a 6-10 team or whatever the hell, right? Like, I just don't see a whole lot, but you guys are
6-10, 6 wins.
I mean, I do like.
I don't see that happening.
Is Trevor Lawrence not playing quarterback for us, or
No.
did I miss something, or what's going on?
Let's go. Just a couple years ago, you would be happy with 6 wins.
I know. You're right.
Was his numbers mind blowing? Like he played great, but was his numbers mind blowing? Like to me, no. Like
he is. And I'm not a good person to ask. I'm too biased, but Lawrence to me is he's the future in the face of the NFL.
The whole shit.
He's got to cut that hair then if he's.
He will.
He's got to cut
that hair is glorious. That hair is flow. That hair's got to flow. It's part of his look.
He's got to stop looking like a member of Friends before he can be the face of the NFL.
He is. He will. I don't know when he will. I would not be surprised if he passes Mahomes soon. Sooner rather than later.
Come on, bro.
Because
I need your dealer too. Put your dealer in the mix too, please. Adam Ranks. Mahomes.
We gotta line him up, see who's got the best shit.
Would you still think that? Hey. Would you still think that if we didn't drop 7 games in a row last year and you guys didn't win the division?
Oh my God!
No, you wouldn't.
I can answer that.
I just think this. I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes. I'm saying the potential. I think with Peterson as his coach, the weapons around Lawrence, I think he has the potential to start getting to that conversation. Maybe I should rephrase it.
I'm not going to disagree with you.
Lawrence, if you're building a quarterback in a lab, that's who you build in a lab. He's the perfect specimen for a quarterback. The height, the arm strength, the accuracy, the toughness. He's smart. He's I mean, he checks every box. Like I'm not a good person to ask though because I'm too biased. But
yeah, well, at least you admit that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a Lawrence guy. You know? So
if my aunt had both, my uncle. So you know what I mean. No, I'm just kidding. I'm horrified of Lawrence. I'll be honest. He's getting better every year, and you guys have what you all of you, all 4 of you have what I've been searching for 20 plus years, and that's a franchise quarterback.
That is true.
I'm hoping Malik or Will Levis is the guy because we need somebody to grow old with. You guys are going to be growing old with Lawrence and AR-15.
Will Levis needed time anyway, though. I think that was a good pick for y'all. You know, having
I love him.
He needs time. That's all he needs is just time to watch someone else do it. Watch Tannehill. It is much hate as whatever. Tannehill is a professional, man. He's been in the league. He saying this ain't his first rodeo, and be able to watch a guy go to work. Go to, show up every day, know how to work a playbook, how to go Monday through Friday, translate that to Sunday. I truly do like Will Levis a lot.
Levis, he has the edge. He's got the swag. You saw how pissed off he was on draft night, not getting picked first round. And I like the guy that's a little bit annoying to the other people in the NFL fan base because that's the guy you need. Like people hate on Joe Burrow, people hate on Josh Allen, Herbert because they got so much swag and they do miraculous things on a weekend basis that nobody would like them if they weren't fans. You need a guy that puts the fear of God in other teams. And, the nice guys don't, like Kirk Cousins doesn't scare anyone. Even if he throws the ball well, nobody goes into a Sunday scared of Kirk Cousins because he's a guy who still drives a friggin', town and country to work. He drives a minivan to work. You don't want that. You want a guy coming out of a Rolls Royce with a Rolex on his wrist. And he doesn't sign any autographs. He just walks right in and gives everyone a peace sign. And then he goes and wins a football game. That's all we care about. So, we'll see how that turns out. But I got confidence.
I like this guy. He may be my new favorite Titans fan. I like this guy.
That's funny.
There's not many of them.
I was watching the quarterback. I was like, yeah, he drives a fucking minivan, and you can't fear. You can't even respect that when you pull up. Like, that's the QB. Get the fuck out of here. He just
would drive him to the playoff game. I pick him up and bring him to the playoff game. Couldn't wait for him to get into it. As the Giants were very, very ready for that as well last year.
That's awesome, man. Okay, man. So this has been amazing, right? We're gonna close with one final thing, and it's not even about our division. Let's just say, like right now, who to you guys, the entire league, who's the scariest team right now? Who would you just say today if you had to say Super Bowl without a doubt? What team is that?
I'm going to respect it until they're dethroned the Kansas City Chiefs. And that's out of pure respect for Mahomes and that team. I mean, until they underthrown what Andy Reid does there with Mahomes, Kelsey, and that team, got to give it to the Chiefs just out of pure respect.
All right, Sal, what you got?
I'm going to be honest. He's just looked too good too early that you got to assume that he's going to take even another step. I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. Listen, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they brought back Higgins. They are so close, and they've been so close. And Joe Burrow is just another one of those guys that is not a guy you want to piss off. He's a swag dude. The whole state of Ohio is behind him. He's bringing over Brown fans, I think. He's playing so well. And they're not a team I want to see in January in any way, shape, or form.
All right. Where you at, Matt?
Well, Bengals Eagles would be my Super Bowl pick. But my team is going to be the Eagles, man. You know, I all the respect to Kansas City, best team in the world. Their jobs got harder. You know, they lost pieces. Not saying that they're not going back, man. All the faith in them. The jobs got easier for the Eagles, man. The rich keep getting richer. They find ways, man. Howie Roseman is the best GM in the NFL, and I don't think that it's a close second. They do the little things right. I thought they had one of the best drafts in the NFL, man. And I mean, run it back, man. I mean, what else can you say? I don't want to be the guy having to play Jalen Carter. And Fletcher Cox. Nah, man, I'm
Jordan Davis.
And Jordan Davis. You're bringing back Brandon Graham to.
Come on, man.
I'm good, man. I'm totally fine. Y'all can find another person to block. I'm good.
That's insane, bro. Real shit. All right, Pat. I'll let you go.
I'm going to go with Sal on this. Cincinnati. They've been building since they got Burrow, and they've done nothing but get better.
Yeah.
Every year, and I don't see it slowing down. It's harder to stay on top of the hill than it is to get to the top.
Okay.
So everything he said, absolutely 100% accurate.
Facts. And I will second what Matt said. I mean, they are so athletic on defense. And as you can see, I mean, that game was super close, right? It wasn't as if they showed
a couple calls away from
away. Their front four is going to be absolutely bananas. If not next year, by year 2 of that, with all of them kids together. I mean, they got 6-7 Georgia players on it. So these dudes' chemistry, they got to understand the NFL speed, but they already know how to play football together as a unit almost. That's insane to me. And I just think that people have not really thought about, I mean, go back to the days of, Clyde Simmons and Reggie White, back in the day when they're just dominating shit up front. I feel like that's where it starts. It starts in the trenches. And if you can dominate up front like that and just destroy anybody that's coming in trying to run the ball and make them one-sided, that's going to be tough. So,
well, let me ask you guys this. With Philly losing their OC and their DC, you still think they're going to be that dominant?
Yes, because the NFC as a whole is the JV. I was having this conversation. I'll make this fast. The top 7 to 8 quarterbacks in the NFL right now are all in the AFC, and this is in no particular order. Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Trevor Lawrence. You just go up and down the line.
Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers. I mean, there's 7, and that's in no order. The top 7 are all in the AFC. Jalen Hurts is maybe number 8, maybe. That's how good the AFC is a gauntlet. That's why I think the Eagles. Now they're still a good team regardless, but I think the Eagles' path is much easier than going through the AFC with those quarterbacks because you have some dogs in the AFC, some dogs at quarterback.
I think it's Dallas and Philly. Or is it 2-dog race in the NFC? Honestly,
yeah.
And that's sad because Dallas isn't even that great. But
the NFC really, if you stare up and down the rosters